And then I thought, group 7, that's way down there. I keep referring to these as paintings. So I said, well, I should see what happens when we do group 7 Lego. This is the last couple are a recent work. As you saw at the beginning, one of the first pieces I'd done was the capture of the Great Library of Alexandria. Recently, I've been thinking a whole lot about how, so much information is going onto the internet, so much of it. And libraries are having to actually question how much publication, actual bound material they want to keep in their collection. And so I envision this, future where powers that be actually go in and wipe out the actual hard material library. There's a long history in humanity, unfortunately, of forgetting and wiping out your enemy's library. So I thought that was really interesting. And then it's the last recent one that I've done. It's the same thing.
Build the boxes.
Yeah.
Books.
Books and books. Type studios. We have that here too. We have technology of machine tools and mechanical design, theory of machines and mechanisms, calculus. So, and you have it in all your PDF, all going up with planning. This, I think, where I'm going with the work in the next few months is experimenting with actual objects integrated into and really a painterly. I'm trying to get a real painterly surface or pro-painterly surface. So I've got another one sitting on the blue screen at the moment, but nothing's been shot yet, of the Vandals at the gates as these beautiful little porcelain, like Royal Dalton figurines who are standing on some kitchen saucers as pedestals, and there will be photoshopped in columns of these porcelain like stacked dishes, and this being like the Imperial City. And Vandals were one of the many marauders that had stormed into Rome at the end of the Roman Empire. It could have very well been the Mongols, but I get these two like Royal Dalton European figurines. So the Vandals will be at the gates of the city marching in. Yes.
Patrick, do you, after looking at this piece, this question may or may not make sense. Do you think we're in another dark age?
I think I'm definitely exploring my fears in this recent work, and certainly we could go that way.
You don't think we're in one right now? And I'm saying dark age is a devaluation of the liberal arts with an acceleration of technological advancements, but with a greater gap between poor and rich.
I think we've surpassed the golden age. I don't know if we've declined as far as the dark age. More and more emphasis is on craft again, on good craftsmanship. I think there's definitely, and I say that in respect not so much into the traditional craft, but as into the technocraft. It's not so much what content you're doing necessarily with the technology, but
technocraft. Did you just make that up?
No.
Okay.
Evergon came up with that.
Okay. Never heard of him.
Never heard of Evergon.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think we're not quite into a dark age. Certainly, I think we're in a decline. I played in the derelict remains of Expo 67 on Essential as a kid, and that was the future. It was a promising, golden future, I grew up with, the Cold War coming to an end, and essentially we were going to be fighting cockroaches for the last can. Right? That was my reality. I didn't think I was going to be living in a house by the time I was in my 30s. I figured we'd be like in bunkers. So I wasted a whole lot of youth with paramilitary activity.
There are some that might say you're fear-mongering.
Certainly that's the point, yeah. I don't know if I think by using Lego, I think I'm trying to address things in a witty way, right? In a humorous way. I mean, it's personal for me to be using Lego, but at the same time, I think I'm trying to take these kind of everyday sort of news, especially these two pieces, everyday sort of news events that we constantly are hearing. And by having them done in Lego, it sort of stops you for a moment and looks at them. With the historical pieces I've done in the gold gilded frame, most people, as we walk into the gallery, just recognize it as historical painting and almost look at it closely. So I think it works as a stopping action. Fear-mongering? Well, I think it's important that we're on guard. You know, I think we've got to be critical of what media we're exposed to and where we might be making our decisions as to where we're going. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Chris Healy.
Thank you, Patrick.